The shelter, they seemed to put me out.
Okay. But they didn't have any reasoning, or they
No, the scam was she was being rude, and she used it as a strategy to blame me for being rude. But you don't put someone out, and nothing happened, and you just say that they're rude. They called me, and I hadn't even I hadn't talked to them that day. But numerous of my abuser was mad, and when he's upset, he has locations deny me of assistance. So he had them put me out in corruption, and he's had numerous other locations do it. And I know that you guys have case management here. I saw a brochure a long time ago, and people have been lying about it.
We don't have case management.
You do. I don't know if it's this particular location, but you have case management. And you told me that you helped someone, you were trying to help somebody else that didn't want the help, that was trying to flee abuse. And I said that I'd like to get the help that you had for her, and you said, give me some time and I'll put some things together.
Well, I mean, I can look and see what I can find, but I have one client that, again, it was more DV, and she ended up going to Union Mission. That's where she ended up going. That just based on what she said she didn't want.
Oh, you said that she didn't want this help.
No, she just got into it with her boyfriend, and that was the first time that they had a physical fight, and she had been coming in here to try to get DV help, and all that, because it wasn't an actual physical, it was more just verbal.
Oh, I guess I misunderstood, because you said that a lot of women don't want help to flee.
No.
And then you were trying to help someone and she did not want help. And I said, I do want help.
Right.
What help did you give her? And you said, wait a minute, I have to get back to you.
Did you reach out to 211 to stop?
I do,
okay.
but people are enlisted to tell me to call on my phone because I'm speaking with con artists. And for years they start arguments and oppress and deny me assistance. So I don't want to handle.
So you don't call on your.
No, I try to handle it in person, and I know for a fact that this organization does have case management. I don't know where at.
FBI?
Yeah.
No, we do not.
Yeah, I have a brochure saying it may be another location.
Do you have the brochure?
Not on me, but I mean, when I first got here, he said that there's a form of help, and they do give resources. It was like pulling teeth to get them, but get that information. But he says it's limited. The Spanish guy, not the black one. Well, that strange black guy was trying to demand I did a psych eval. And I was like, sir, I don't have time. And he was like, they're trying to coerce me and intimidate me to do a psych eval when I had something else to do.
Oh, so you've seen Dr. Steven?
I haven't yet. He was trying to demand I do a psych eval, and I didn't have time.
That's
I came in randomly. Yeah, I came randomly for something briefly. And he was like, no, you got to do a psych eval. I said, I don't have time for that now. That was crazy for him to try to demand for me coming in from nowhere.
Okay, so was that before or after you did your was it before or after you did your biopsychosocial?
The fact was the problem of it was that I was telling him I had something else to do. I did not have an appointment with him. I didn't know who he was.
Oh.
I came for resources to get help and ask for case management and paperwork on what you guys do, and they railroaded me to speak with him. And then he was demanding that I do a psych eval, but I didn't come for that. I came to get resources on, what all you help with.
Okay.
And then they distracted me by having me talk to him, and he was rude and trying to demand. And I was like, no, I don't have time. I didn't come here for that.
Okay.
We have to do this at a different time.
I think it's Dr. Steven.
Yeah.
Which is the nurse practitioner that specializes in things like that.
I was wanting to get this organization because I don't know why I just can't get, if I'm at an organization getting help, trying to get help with that organization, everybody's doing the same thing. It just spins my wheels.
I mean, that's one thing we don't have. We don't have case managers.
You do.
Okay.
Maybe not for this one, but you do have case managers. I saw a brochure that says you have case management. And then when I first came in here, the man, he said that it's limited resources.
Do you remember what he
And then you said that you were trying to help someone flee abuse, but she didn't want the help.
Well, no, I mean, like I said, the only thing I have is, again, the domestic violence shelter hotline information, right? And 211, that's the only assistance that, like, if you didn't want to use your phone, you could definitely use one of the phones out in the lobby.
Yeah, here's the thing, but I deserve a support system, and I've been robbed of that. And I'm not happy with that people are being listed to pathologically lie and keep me from support system and any help.
But, okay, so there's certain services that we do have, and then there's certain services that we do not have. and like I said, the case manager.
I haven't got any of those services.
Okay, but what services do you need?
I feel like that's kind of condescending because you already know my abusive crisis, and you have the paper, and you have and you were trying to help somebody else that didn't want your help, so you probably have.
You keep bringing that up, but
right. So that means that you have an intellect in knowing what she needed.
But I
don't, because I don't know what I need.
Right.
And I keep on trying to tell you that.
Okay.
And you had enough intellect to try to help her and get her a direction that she didn't have on her own. And then I said that I needed wanted the same help, and you said you had to put some things together.
So you're gonna tell me what I did when I'm saying that I did not do that. I don't know if you mistaken me with someone else, but I did not help anyone. I give them the resources, and they have to push to, do what they do. So I provide them a piece of paper, and they.
I don't understand. I thought it was I don't know how the mandatory reporting works. Mm-hmm. But if you have a client and the people are claiming that I'm so disabled, mentally ill, and all this, if you have a client that is being oppressed and violated by the government, I thought it was mandatory reporting. But everybody I've ever came in contact with never did.
Mandatory report is about more physical abuse.
And I've had that with people police dragging me out of locations for trying to flee them.
So at that time, if you don't have a name, a badge number, or anything like that, then it's going to be hard for them to report that.
I have had that, but I'm just wondering how, if there's mandatory reporting, how no one has ever done it.
I'm going to go to my computer real fast.
Yeah, that's okay.
No, because again, there is mandated reporting, right? Right? And mandated reporting is more about child abuse. It's mandated child abuse. So when you
how is it that women that are fleeing domestic violence crisis, and when they don't want to report their abuser, the state picks up charges for the abuser? And hospital staff. And when a woman's being beaten and she don't want to press charges.
But that's not mandated reporting. Mandated reporting is basically about child abuse, right?
If a woman is abused, right? I don't know. I think that it's someone, my abuser's controlling my environment, and he's having people lie to me to keep me from fleeing them. That's a red flag, because everybody does hush hush when it comes to my abuse. But here's the thing: there's women that go to hospitals, and they don't want to report their abusers, and the state will pick up charges for their abuser.
Right.
So that is not child abuse.
Okay, but that's not a mandated reporter either. You're going to the hospital because you were abused, right?
No.
Okay.
They go to the hospital and lie and say they fell or something.
Okay.
And then don't want to press charges on their abuser, and then the state will pick up charges.
But they have to produce a name.
And then in addition to that, there's all kind of people that call when there's domestic violence disturbances.
Right.
They call, and then the party, they get to the environment, and then the wife will lie and say no, nothing was happening, and then that party will get arrested if they have probable cause that this man actually did something to someone that don't want anything done to their abuser.
That does happen, and the person is.
So that is not accurate that it's only for child abuse, because there's
numerous. But that's not mandated reporting. Mandated reporting is about child abuse.
Mandated reporting is if somebody is aware that someone's getting violated and they don't report it, and they're a mandated reporter, then they can get suffer criminal charges.
So we can continue to go around in circles about
I understand why so many people cover for my crisis.
Nobody's covering for your crisis. Did you suffer abuse at the hands of somebody today?
Yeah, I'm put out, forced out on the street, and blacklisted from my help. That endangers my safety.
Okay, but again,
I had to sleep outside on a bench because I'm blacklisted from my housing, and they put me out. That's abuse from my shelter to put me out from my abuser. Derail my life.
Did they put their hands on you and violate you with physically?
Emotional abuse is abuse too, and if they're derailing my life, keeping me from shelter, that endangers my safety.
Did you file a report?
Police are covering for it.
So did you file a report on that person that was?
Police are covering for it.
Okay.
Remember I said that they arrested me. The government's aiding and abetting my crisis, which makes it serious.
That happened, 4 or 5 years ago. So.
No, currently I'm not being heard.
Okay, so
cars are coming at me to here, and my abuser has me put out of a shelter, and I had to sleep outside, and I'm not safe.
Okay.
And I'm blacklisted from my help.
Okay. So
places have closed while I was in them to keep me from services in numerous locations. The spots, the 24-hour refresh spots, are pathologically lying to keep me from being at the refresh spots.
So when you talk about this, and in where we sit right now, and you wanting support, how?
And I want to flee the abuse. That's what I want. I would like to get shelter and proper treatment like women that are trying to flee abuse. Yeah. And I don't want to be railroaded and kept from any kind of possibility to flee abuse like what I've experienced. And people are pathologically lying about doing mandating reporting because they refuse to do it to cover for it.
Okay, so we already kind of went over what mandating reporting is, and when it comes to child.
But you were making mistake. You were informed because it's not just child abuse.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, you have an opinion.
It's for domestic violence too.
So you have an opinion on what it is, right? And you are entitled to that opinion on what mandated reporting is. Okay, so that's fine.
I thought it was like just abuse, period. And I don't. Why would it be okay to abuse someone?
Because most mandated reporters are either teachers, right? People that work in the school
Therapist is a mandated reporter.
It's about child abuse, though. That's what I'm saying. So if I work with a child and they're telling me that they're being abused by their parent, yes, am I supposed to do I have to make a report? Absolutely. But not as an adult. If you are experiencing abuse as an adult and that perpetrator is right there, right, and you have their name and you have their information, then that's what you provide to the police for them to pursue or get.
But the police are my abusers. So what they do is they illegally monitor me. Mm-hmm. And each environment I step into, they're controlling. Okay. And every therapist, you claim that you're not like that, but every therapist that I've ever had, they know that there's mandating reporting. Okay. They panic when I go to hospital.
Who, the therapist?
No, the police.
Okay.
The police panic. They're there. And a lot of times with intimidation, they'll come and interrupt me speaking with advocates. I've been arrested. I've been drugged out to church, I told you about.
Right.
So that shows that I'm terrorized by law enforcement, that abusing power and authority. So they don't want to go to prison. So each environment, every therapist that I've ever had interaction with, they were controlling. And it was under...
Were they controlling? Are you saying they're controlling the situation?
They're controlling my therapist.
Okay. Well, and again...
Because it's mandated reporting and they know it. So they have to control the therapist to keep them from reporting.
Okay. So...
Some of them have, and then it was ignored. They reported it to the Adult Protective Services, so I know that there is mandating reporting. I know that there is. It's not, I'm not asking, I know. So some of them did, but it was ignored from Adult Protective Services. They were like backed into a corner and didn't want to be held accountable because they were saying that I had a lot of trauma from my abuse and they wanted me to be on medication or so-and-so because I had so much trauma. And I said, well, if I had so much trauma, how is it that you can't report? And she was like, oh, snap. Okay. I reported. So to not have accountability for her actions, she reported it, but it was ignored with Adult Protective Services. So it's not an unfriended negotiation. The government is interrupting, illegally monitoring me, and keeping me from any possibility to flee abuse they're enlisted in.
So how do you think that, since the government is involved, then how do you think we would go over the government?
I think that first it would have to be a start. That's what the whole prerequisite and the whole thing for mandatory reporting for those people that are cowardly and don't want to do on up to their responsibility and turn blind eyes. That's why they made it illegal for turning blind eyes. You just, for certain positions, you don't have a right to turn a blind eye without getting a charge. So if that's precisely why, for certain positions, if turning blind eyes is a crime. I'm not quite certain on, like I said, I'm not a professional and I don't have the training, and I don't, because I don't have rights. I've been calling all night, in fact, years, trying to get advocacy.
What have you been calling all night? What have you had?
My phone's hacked, and I talked to con artists. So they're lashing out, and they've done it years and bullying me and mistreating me for trying to flee abuse the government's enlisted in. I got emails saying that they're actors, and the police department and my abuser are in cahoots together. and they know that I'm talking to con artists. So what is happening in each environment, they're rolling me to make calls and scamming to keep me from resources because they don't want me to go in person because they know that I'm making talking to con artists. That's federal charges to hack someone's phone, and plus the fact that I have been defrauded out of funds. So since they're illegally monitoring me, they have all the people that they're controlling tell them that they can't give me services and demand that I go everywhere else, and call places on my phone to talk to this con artist. So they're going to be psychologically abusive.
Okay. So the list of the shelters that you did not want yesterday, did you check into any of those to see if they had beds or anything like that?
The list of shelters that I didn't want?
Well, because I asked you if you wanted the list of shelters, and you were like, no, I don't want it. She was like, are they around here? I'm like,
yeah, I wanted to get out of this area. Okay. But and then plus in addition to that, I'm blackballed from this area. Okay. I thought I communicated that with you. Everybody's denying me assistance in this area. I'm blackballed. So as I expressed to you, it's irrelevant. You weren't really understanding me because I'm not getting anywhere in this area. It's all bought off and paid to deny me assistance. It's not that I just didn't want the help, it's that I can't get it in this area. What I'm wanting is I don't want everybody's violating my rights. No one wants me to have a support system and be like other women fleeing abuse. They want me to do it on my own, which is abuse.
Right. And
that's abuse.
Well, okay. I mean, so you want support.
Yeah, and that's abuse to just give me numbers and tell me to be on my way.
I don't understand why you think that that's abuse. How is that abuse? How is that abuse? Because if somebody gives you a list of places to contact for you to have shelters, why is that abuse?
Okay. Typically, like with certain programs, there's case management, and then like you claim that you didn't say it, but I thought I could have sworn that I heard you say that you tried to help someone, and she didn't want it, and I said, well, give me the same help, and you said, hold on, let me put some things together.
Okay, so that was the conversation that we had yesterday when I asked you if you wanted the resources of housings and shelters in the area, and you was like, yeah, I don't want that. So I said, well, let me look and see maybe if I can find some outside shelters that had nothing to do with someone else.
Okay, so what I thought I heard in multiple different people in situations like this, not only are they therapists, but a lot of them I thought it was better for them to also be social workers.
Okay.
So they double as therapists and social workers. And they have pathologically lied about being social workers because they wanted to leave me in my abuse.
Right, because I'm not a social
worker. Okay, but I'm just telling you my experiences. So what was happening is they were therapists coupled with being a social worker, and they did not want to advocate for me, and they deliberately wanted to leave me in my abuse and sabotage any kind of ability to flee abuse the government's enlisted in.
Because you do have what you do have is licensed clinical social workers. So licensed clinical social workers.
None of them have ever helped me.
Licensed clinical social workers are social workers that also do therapy. So I don't know if that's the combination in which, you know what I'm saying, what you're talking. So they do have licensed clinical social workers that, again, they do both. They do social work and they do therapy. So I think that may be what you're entailing. So you want a shelter outside? So
I wanted an advocate, an experienced, trained person that is not going to tell me to handle this on my own. That will advocate for me and help me.
I will be help. If I do that, I'm doing it because I want to help you. It's not part of what I do. Okay. So if I find and I look for shelters for you outside of these areas because this is something that I want to assist you with. It's not my job to do.
Oh well, yeah. You said that you were going to look into it.
So that's what I'm saying. And again, at the time, I had clients. I was not able to get to it yesterday. Right?
Okay.
I'm just getting in today, so it's not saying that it's off the table.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
I can still see what I can find out.
Okay.
And if you're going to be here and whatever.
Because I'm sleeping outside because I can't flee abuse. Right. Everybody wants to be in cahoots with it, and then those places shut down. Or Denny's shut down to keep me from being in there. So that's pretty serious. I thought somebody needs to do some mandatory reporting.
Well, okay. So what I can do is I can see if I can gather up a list of shelters outside of this area. So when you say outside of this area, so you just want outside of downtown?
Right, because I'm blackballed.
Okay, so
I can't get help.
Are you
That's
able
why I'm
to
sleeping
go,
outside.
Like if I found some in Orange County, are you able to get to Orange County?
Yeah, I can.
You can. Okay, so
there should be places that help you if it's domestic violence. They support you and help you flee.
Well, okay, but there is, and that's what 211 is for, right?
I called 211 and I wasn't.
But you said you called it from your phone, maybe because your phone is.
I mean, if you're getting resources like you claim, then yeah, I wanted domestic violence organizations because I'm fleeing a domestic violence crisis.
So
you said you wanted to put some things together,
right?
And
so allow me to. So again, I got a list of domestic violence shelters. Okay, I do have that. I don't know if they're all in this area. 211 is what's going to get you outside of this area.
No, they said it was just when I called. They said it was just for Los Angeles. I don't know who I'm talking to. I don't know what the truth is. They said that they only said, and she was weird, like she knew who I was. She said, we only do 211 for Los Angeles. All I have is resources in Los Angeles.
Okay, so let me do my research. Okay, let me see what I can pull together, and then I will get a list together. Okay. And then I'll come and find you, and I'll come and give it to you.
Okay. And as for local, I'm blackballed.
Okay, I got it.
Yes, and I cannot get services local. Okay, that's why I'm sleeping outside.
Okay, I got it.
And someone, I'm not saying you, but ethical people would stop, drop, and find a solution right now and not demand that I continue to be outside in the domestic violence crisis that involve the police.
It's unfortunate that, what I'm saying again, I don't control that part. I'll do my due diligence in trying to find, something outside of this area.
But that's how you know it's a red flag that people are being manipulated. If someone is forced to sleep outside and can't get help.
Well, I mean, unfortunately there's
fleeing abuse though.
Plenty of people that are
fleeing abuse, outside. Not in a serious situations like what I'm in. You get put in witness protection, and there's mandatory reporting, and you get placed. They'll relocate you. Not me.
Okay. Well, let me do. Okay, let me do some research. I don't have another client coming in until like 11, so I've got about an hour.
Okay.
To kind of look at different.
You don't want to do it together, like advocate for each other.
I can.
Yeah,
because I can, but
like work together as a team.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah.
But I know you don't like me behind my computer when.
Oh no, well, that was because we were having therapy sessions, and you were being distracted by the computer. And like I said, my therapists were being manipulated and being condescending and being controlled by a sadistic person. You were just being distracted by your computer because I was having therapy, and you were on it. I'm not the kind of person that is, has a lot of, now I've been forced into it, but to throw someone like me on the streets and force someone like me to be on benches, if you know my history, just imagine that some abuser had you on a bench. You have integrity. You're a therapist. What if some kind of toxic, powerful man had you sleeping on a bench? You see how serious that'd be if it was you? Ma'am?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. So it's the same thing. I'm not the kind of personality type that, had to deal with something being forced to live like this. And trapping someone like you in experience to where you have to sleep on the bench. Using law enforcement to do so. I've had lease agreements and keys, and they kidnap me to take my apartments and, places I live, or either scheme. So what used to happen, if the police department didn't like it, we get on the phone, and then they make attempts, but it was too incriminating that nobody was helping me, and it was obvious that it's scams. So now people are giving me resources to have me call con artists on my phone, because it is illegal to violate someone's rights like this. And they know how to get away with it. It is law enforcement. So they are having me call their con artists and have the con artists deny me assistance year after year. That way their accomplices won't be held responsible for having scheming to keep me from my rights and keeping me in abuse. They know law enforcement's enlisted in. So we can't get on the phone and dial numbers. They give me the numbers and deprive me of assistance. and then scam like that. I have to do it all on my own. Are you able to hear me?
I hear you.
Oh yeah, because so numbers isn't going to work.
I'm working.
Yeah, I'm just wondering while you're working. I just wanted to inform you that numbers won't work, so I need an address.
Okay.
That's what I was informing you. Okay.
I'm getting.
I really wish that we can call them on your phone together as a team, and then I have a support system. Love, compassion, and someone with expertise. Union Station Adult Center is what helps women flee abuse.
Well, I'm looking for a shelter.
I wanted a place where that's why I was trying to give you feedback on what I was looking for, because people are railroading me to homeless shelters, and that most of them are full, and that's not going to be a solution to abuse that the government is enlisted in. I
don't think they're gonna have shelters that's gonna just be labeled about.
No. I'm just saying I'm in a domestic violence crisis.
Domestic violence is different. So if we're talking domestic violence, then
domestic violence that law enforcement is enlisted in. Therefore, people give me homeless shelters. It's serious. That I want
domestic violence is going to have some type of policing, because they're trying to protect the people that are being abused.
I think there's a disconnect, because I tried to inform you that I wanted domestic violence organizations, and you were giving me a homeless shelter.
Okay, so this is what I'm gonna do.
So just strictly domestic violence shelters, because it's pretty serious that the police are aiding and abetting them.
Domestic violence shelters right here.
Okay, with the address, so I can go there, because they're railroading me to talk to con artists to get nowhere. I've already been calling, and that's why I slept outside. This has been happening.
Okay, so I mean, I'm definitely sorry that you had to sleep outside.
So locations, if I'm making a request for the help, locations that have addresses and domestic violence organizations. And like I said, locally, I'm blackballed from all help here. Even the little spots are moving chairs. The 24-hour refresh spots, they will give you access to bathrooms, water, and all that, and showers. They're shutting down to keep me from being there. And that's pretty. One of them cursed me out in his scam to degrade. I went to the Central Police Department. They were so crooked they left the front desk and started arguments. And then I flagged down the police, and they were trying to set me up with mental illness and called a mental illness team out, and lied about it. I told them I'm getting death threats and all kind of different threats.
You don't think that, or do you know that you have any mental health disorders?
I don't know how that's relevant. Shouldn't I flee abuse and not get murdered first?
Okay.
I may have trauma for everybody aiding and abetting my abuse. Because you're actively looking for domestic violence organizations, and before we concentrate on any psychological damage that was done by the abuse.
Okay. So I understand that you want support, right? And I get that, but
it just feels like gaslighting.
Sometimes I'm not gaslighting.
Yeah, it feels like gaslighting.
Okay, but you have to listen as well. So sometimes you have a very condescending tone, right? And when people are trying to help you, and I think that may stop people from wanting to help you.
No, they're crooked.
Okay, well,
yeah,
I'm
not
crooked, but
the police department tried to set me up the other day, and I wasn't being heard. And then I told you 20 minutes about my abuse, and you didn't understand it. So I wrote out a paper telling you that law enforcement was involved in my abuse because you couldn't understand that. So because you did, that's why I wrote the paper out.
That's what I'm saying is that
because you didn't understand I was going through a domestic violence crisis that involved law enforcement. So that's why I wrote it on paper.
Us talking over each other is not going to.
I was communicating with you first. And then you interrupted me.
So you're not going to allow me to finish. Right?
You weren't, okay. People try to start arguments.
So I'm not trying to start an argument. I'm trying to give you feedback on how when you talk to people, it can be very condescending, right? When you get a certain emotion, then you can be very condescending to people, right? And when you're that way, if somebody talks to you very condescending,
I don't know how that's relevant that the police were trying to set me up.
You can't tell me what's relevant. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so you want to blame me for the police trying to take my freedom and set me up for trying to flee abuse.
I'm not blaming you for anything.
I think that we need to concentrate on their behavior more importantly before.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to provide you with this piece of paper.
Okay, because people scam. Police have people scheme to not to keep me from being a support system.
So I'm going to provide you with that piece of paper, right? And I can go set you up on our phone, which is not going to be hacked, which is not going to be taped or anything like that. Set you up with one of our phones so you can contact those places. And I don't know how.
These are all numbers, and I told you up front.
Well, you don't. But that's the thing, Kiana. You can't tell me what to do. Okay, you can ask me for help, right? But because again, you have this very condescending tone. That, I can see why people may push back on you.
They're crooked. They're crooked. Okay. They are prearranged and bought off and paid. Okay. It used to be like when a woman is fleeing abuse and she says, my phone is hacked, I can't have numbers. But what law enforcement is doing and what they do, they're psychotic. And they're having people blame me, and I'm trying to reprove it to someone that'll do something about it. Their personality type is to blame me for their crimes. That's what they're doing, because that's that kind of personality type. And used to be, you could say, I'm looking for so-and-so. I don't have that right, because they're abusers. Okay. So everybody that you come in contact with is abusers. If I can finish what you
stopped, so that's why I thought I was able to interject. But
okay. No problem.
Okay, but that's what I'm saying.
Okay, I don't want to be gaslit and blamed. Okay, the bottom line is if we could get a proper understanding, used to be that it was a two-way street. Like I said, I'd like to do it together. Used to be that you could go to someone that had expertise and said, I am looking for so-and-so, so-and-so. Since it's coercive control, when it's me, they're demanding problems. Okay, so when I was telling you up front over and over again that the police department has railroaded my phone to con artists and enlisted people to only give me numbers to keep me on this hamster wheel that I've been forced on. So I wanted addresses. Then you said, I can't tell you what I need. But if I can't use these, you spend all this effort and time in something I can't use, and I was trying to communicate.
Why wouldn't you be able to use it?
Because my phone is hacked and I talk to con artists.
Okay, but I suggested that you use our phone and not use your cell phone.
I just wish that I had addresses and rights to be able to get what I'm looking for.
Okay, so
there's no addresses. I just wish that I could interject.
No addresses that's on
I don't even know where they're located. I'm new to this area. There's no city. It's just locations.
You have computer experience, right?
I just thought you were helping me.
Okay, well that's what
and then you said that I'm condescending.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Okay, and that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to help you, right? But I'm saying that I can't spend 3 hours in writing down all of the addresses that's on that list, right? They don't put an address on those lists for a purpose. Because again, if they're domestic violence,
it doesn't even have a city. But that's why I wanted to find a location that I can go in person, because I'm railroaded to talk to network to con artists. I have been calling. I'm not really being heard, and you're saying that I'm being condescending. I've been calling years, and I called all night talking to con artists and had to sleep outside.
So we got 1736, right? Family crisis.
So you one location, and you said that you were going to look for places outside of the local location, and you only have one suggestion.
But there's a
because you were writing a long time and doing a lot of stuff.
I was writing because you say I was writing on.
And then are you gonna give me that? Are you?
But these are.
And then you have this already.
Okay, so you said that you didn't want homeless shelters. So this was homeless shelters.
To flee domestic violence.
Okay, so again, when did you experience domestic violence in the last 6 months?
My abuser just had me put out a shelter and blackballed me and had them 20. He had locations closed, and then cars are coming at me, and then the police just tried to set me up and kidnap me the other day.
And that's what I'm saying. When you
and then everybody's covering for their crimes.
When you say those things, and the police,
And then I told you I was drug out of our box, so it's an ongoing situation the police will tell us.
Out of the church?
Yes, I told you that.
But you did, but these things that happened 4 years ago. It's from what you're saying, when that happened in Texas, right?
The police just tried to set me up a couple days ago.
Okay, and the police tried to set you up.
Communicated that with you, and then you changed topics.
That's what I'm saying. How did
they know that I'm getting death threats, and the shelter put me out for my abuser. And I flagged down the police because they were bullying me and leaving the front desk. I've done restraining orders, tried to do restraining orders on police. Cars have sped up like they're going to hit me. I'm blackballed and can't get services. That's serious. And then if someone is so petty, they're controlling my therapist to be abusers for them and then blame me for their abuse. That's horrible. That's psychotic. So, but here's the thing, that's why I wrote the piece of paper down, because you were getting confused and you thought it was 4 years ago.
I'm not confused.
Well, that's what you just said, it was 4 years ago. And then I wrote on it.
Based on the information that you told me, that you got dragged out of church when you were
I think I have a copy of,
you have a copy of?
But no, it's current. I'm getting death threats. And then they just tried to set me up the other day. And then you know that I got put out in corruption.
So in order to report a death threat, right?
But you said that you thought it was 4 years ago.
I'm asking you a question. So in order to get a death threat, right? And you have to file a police report, right? And do you know where the death threat is coming from?
They won't do law enforcement. They're aiding and abetting it, but we are deflecting on the fact that they just set me up the other day and I'm outside.
So I'm not law enforcement. So.
But you didn't know that I was in a domestic violence crisis, you said, and that's why I wrote it down on the paper. You thought it was 4 years ago, and I'm still experiencing now being forced outside on the streets, and then having Denny's closed down, and having all these places that are open 24 hours deprive me of assistance to flee abuse, and even have safety there. So you were giving me homeless shelters because you didn't perceive there was a domestic violence crisis. And then in addition to that, I wrote a piece of paper telling you it was in domestic violence.
I think we're done for today.
That's what happens. That's why I went out my therapist.
I know.
So I wrote the paper saying that I'm in domestic violence, and you say gave me only homeless shelters. But can I have the piece of paper for the homeless shelters that you wrote down? And I was telling you I was fleeing abuse. Now, I think that people are being manipulated. What is Adult Center? Union Station Adult Center that you wrote down.
That's the name of the place.
I know, you wrote it down, you did research on it. What do they do?
Okay, so once again, I gave you what you asked for.
I know, you don't want me to know what they do, and you wrote it down?
That's the name of it, it's called Adult Center.
Okay, what do they do? You researched it. Union Station Adult Center is a homeless shelter? Okay. New Reflections Inc. is a homeless shelter?
Yes.
Okay. Because I saw you doing research all that time.
I was going down the list and writing them down.
Okay, so what all do they help with at the Union Station Adult Center? You were doing.
I wrote it down. I went off the list.
I thought you were doing research on what they did.
I didn't do further research. No, because you said that you didn't want homeless shelters. That's what you said. But that's when the list stopped.
Right, but you already had the list.
Okay, but I didn't do further. You're not getting what I'm saying. I did not do further research as far as what they offer. I didn't get a chance to do that.
I misunderstood. Because I thought I was telling you my experiences, and then on my experiences that you were going to try to find me an environment. You said give you some time, and it's numerous different times. And I thought that you were going to go off of my experiences to find me a place that was a good fit for me. Because I didn't know, wasn't educated on trying to find a good fit for myself.
And I get what you're saying when you
I thought that when I put it on paper, the domestic violence crisis, that you would focus on a place that's domestic violence and not homeless shelters.
So that's what that paper is for domestic violence. Now, what I did ask you is let me work on it, right?
I thought you were working on it.
That's what I said, and you was like, well, I want to work on it together. And I'm
right, because I got homeless shelters. That's why I wanted to work on it together, because you keep forgetting that I'm in domestic violence.
You didn't want homeless shelters.
Right, but you wrote down homeless shelters.
That's when I stopped writing that, okay? Is when I stopped writing, is when you say you didn't want homeless shelters. You want domestic violence shelter or someplace that deals with it.
Yeah.
So
that's why I wrote it down on the paper that I wanted domestic violence organizations.
So if you want to go back into the lobby and allow me to finish and further research and give you more information, then I can go ahead and do that.
Yeah, that's why I wrote it down on the paper that I was playing domestic violence, because you were forgetting.
You wrote it down on the paper.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, and I mean, this is kind of abusive because I'm not really being involved in the insight.
When things don't go your way,
But that's why I wanted to be involved because you wrote down domestic violence organizations, and it's not that it's not going my way. I just want to be involved in where I go.
But what I'm saying is, when
and make
things
decisions.
don't go your way, then everything is abusive. So again, allow me to do.
That's not what's happening. I just want
that's
input.
point again. You have your idea of what's going on, and I have my idea of what's going on, right?
It's just I don't get a lot of input, and people make decisions on where I'm going, and they don't include me in them.
I'm not going to make a decision on where you're going. That's not what I do. So I'm not going to make a decision on where you're going. You ask me for information, so I'm going to get you the information, and you decide where you're going to go. I'm not going to decide.
I just wanted it to be a support system and have somebody, and people do this all the time. They exclude me from insight on what's going to happen with my life. And I thought that it would be a team and support, not arguments by trying to work together as a team. And because what if you find a place, I want to be able to say, have input, this.
But that's what I'm saying. That's why it's not my job to find the place. My job is to give you the information. Right?
Can we do it together?
You decide where you're gonna go and what you're gonna do. I don't decide that for you. You decide. Okay? So allow me to do some further research. I'll give you all the information that I can.
What's going on with her? Oh, you gotta use the bathroom? I do too.
Huh?
You gotta use the bathroom?
No, I just do this as a coping skill.
Oh, okay. I need to get some security, and you over here standing over here by her, and me.
Yeah, I got a client in this restroom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I was wondering with the restroom.
Yeah, this is my coping skill.
Yeah, I don't know. All I know is that people are I can't have a support system. People put me out, and someone's manipulating my environment, and they have to tell them what resources to give me, knowing that I'll get nowhere. And like I told the person the other day, I don't want my abuser controlling environments that I go to flee in. You don't flee in. Yeah, so it's a repeated pattern. So it feels like it's abusive when someone tells me to step out to help me. That's not, you want to be a part of your help. You have insight, and I'm robbed of that right to have insight. They do it without my consent.
I'm so sorry, I'm having a client.
There's a client there.
No, she's in the restroom.
Right, yeah. And if you have a client, you can talk to me, right, and be a support system. She's in the bathroom with the door closed. There's no client right there.
So who's your counselor?
She didn't understand that I was trying to flee abuse, and I just want to talk to someone because I was supposed to sleep outside.
Okay.
And then people are, they won't let me have insight on my life. They let someone else control them and tell them what to do. And that puts my safety at risk.
She's your client? Oh, okay. Oh.
I just want someone to sit down. I just want anyone on the planet to sit down with me and help me get a safe environment so they keep me outside. And I told her I didn't want numbers, and she gave me numbers.
So,
and then I told her I was in a domestic violence crisis, and she gave me homeless shelter. And I wrote down on a piece of paper that I was going through a domestic violence crisis, and she still forgave me.
We'll call security and have you walked over to the front office around. I think they could.
Did I need to be escorted out for trying to get help?
No, I think that they can probably help you best.
Security helps people flee abuse?
So, yeah. If you want to be escorted over to the front office.
No, people walk around. Why do I have to be escorted over by security? Yeah, I've seen people walk all over and they didn't have to be escorted by security. I don't know why security has to escort me. That's weird. Everybody else don't have to be escorted. See that lady right there? She's not being escorted by security and monitored. He's not being monitored by security. Why does the security have to follow me around? All these people don't have security on their now security has came. Just now. People stay in this bathroom. They live in the bathroom. That's not a see you to wait on your client while she uses the bathroom. Kind of weird though. Am I able to? Okay, thank you for letting me use the bathroom. They're pathological lies. Because they have a scan strategy for everything. She was standing over the woman, and then she said she had a client in the bathroom. So she said it's a coping mechanism. And then she has a client in the bathroom. And if the client's in the bathroom, why can't you not talk to me? And then the security will escort you. This is what she was in here doing. And like, look at this. Look past the cons. That's dirt. How? On a toilet. If it's not on purpose. Those are gone. Those are gone. Repeat it better. Did she need something out the bathroom because I gotta clean the toilet off? Did you guys need something? It's gonna take me a minute because the toilet's dirty. I gotta clean it. Did you forget something?